to come in here. So, but okay, all right. Thanks everyone for joining us today. This is the Communications Committee for the Athens City Commission on Disabilities. I am Claire Geisigam, chairing this meeting. With us, we have Rose Dekas, Dr. Carolyn Lewis, and Arian Smedley. So before we move forward, did everyone get a chance to look at the minutes? That I think they were sent on the 3rd, or probably before then. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
Great. Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. All right. All right. And then moving forward with new business, does anyone have any suggestions for new members of the committee? Because I know normally before people are appointed to the commission, they usually have the opportunity to serve on a committee first. And I have been really racking my brain, but every person I know that would be a really good fit for this is so swamped right now, mainly because of election season. So I might have some names after November, but right now I'm really coming up short.
Hey, Claire, I'll tell you what I could do. I had 5 names on that list I was going to contact for education and outreach. Anais already said she would serve on that one, and I was going to ask one more person, which would make our committee for education outreach, I think would be 9 or 10. And then the other 3, I think it was Michael Rodriguez, I can't remember the other 2 right now, Steve Trotta, and one other person. I could ask them if they would like to serve. Oh, it was Tasha Attaway.
Okay.
One more I could ask, because Tasha's really good at graphic design. She works now in the College of Education as their web designer, and she does some other things with students. And she was formerly with University in Communications. So when they underwent the big branding change, she was the one that was responsible working with the people higher up to do that. Michael is the director of production and student development at WUB TV, and he's in contact with a lot of students all the time. And Steve Trotta is a retired physical therapist, worked at Castrock, and now he taught also. He has a disability, and he would be, he still teaches part-time, I believe. So okay. I'll be glad to ask any of those, if you all agree, if they would like to serve with this committee.
Yeah, those all sound like, they all sound like great candidates.
Okay.
Now try to pick the one who is not as busy.
That's going to be hard to find these days. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Michael Rodriguez from when I worked at WUB, and yeah, he's awesome. So I think that would be a really great addition if he were to agree. And then like the other 2 sound pretty ideal too. So yeah,
I'm trying to see who the other one was. Tasha, Emily Beveridge. I think we all know Emily.
Yeah. I think that having Emily would be great too. We kind of worked side by side during the Athena Awards, so that was really nice. Yeah. Okay. All right. Are any other names or any other old business or new business before we move forward?
Oh, just one more thing. I was thinking, like I did with the nays, I said she could certainly participate in future meetings leading up to January, and in January they would come on the committee officially. I don't know if you remember her, Claire. Well, maybe, no, I don't think you were there, but 2018 she attended the Athena Award when we had it at the museum. So she's very familiar with the commission and what we do.
Oh, great. Yeah. Okay.
And I'll do the same with these other ones, suggest that they listen and participate, and then come on formally in January.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Okay. All right. Any other new business before we move back to old business? Okay. All right. So for old business, we have, these are the minutes that I'm looking at from last time. I am so sorry. I dropped my phone when all that happened earlier too. Okay. Monthly columns and letters. I'll start off by saying I have totally dropped the ball this last month of writing the 1-minute pieces for WEAK and WATH. But I'm in a much better place now than I was a month ago. I got roped into a state Senate campaign without really realizing it. So I had to have a really hard conversation and say, hey, this was way too much for me. So I'm kind of getting back to normal, and I can start focusing on what I had previously committed to. So Dr. Lewis, hopefully within the next week, or I imagine by Sunday, I should have Anna's letter written, or just reformatted for radio. And then I imagine we can work with Rose's as well. I didn't get the chance to check the paper today to see if anything had been published. But Rose's letter got raving reviews from the education committee. So I'm really excited to see that published.
That's because Carolyn worked on it. And who else would I am?
I didn't see anything today, but let me just see if we can take some pressure off of you. Let's start those in January. What do you all think? You've got the oral history things going on, and just trying to get through this Athena, the video, whatever we have to do. So just let's take that pressure off for now. That's just my suggestion.
Sure.
That motion.
Yeah, I would support that as well. That's a good thought, Dr. Lewis.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. And yeah, I just want to say, I have learned as I've gotten older to, say hey, I'm a little bit overwhelmed right now, but that hasn't happened here at all. Everything's been really good. And I got into the swing of things. It was just this added thing that came up, and it really knocked the wind out of me for a minute. So we can move forward with those in January, and I think especially after the Athena Award is wrapped up, and when we have a new artist selected, that's going to be a lot out of the way too, for the physical award itself. So
Rose's column hopefully will get published for this month. Dr. Smith was supposed to write for this month, so he's going to do October.
Okay.
Davey is working on a letter this month.
Oh, great.
And so were you going to do something on, I think he's doing something on voting.
Great.
And how persons with disabilities options to vote and all of that. So I think September we might need a letter. And so that might be the time for slides that are right on there. Oh,
okay. Sure. Yeah, I think, there's no shortage of content to work with right now. So yeah, I think that sounds like a good plan. I was wondering about the census, but I think really the most effective way to meet people right now with that message is on social media, because you can link people directly to the website to fill out their census. So, and our engagement has been up on social media too. So I think that might be the best place to put our resources when it comes to the census. So, okay. Is that everything for monthly columns and letters? I really hope that Rose's gets published soon. I mean, the news cycle is so super crazy right now, but yes, I think sometimes it might take 1 or 2 emails to the news editors just to make sure that it gets published. So,
are we finding that all of the ones that are submitted are eventually published?
Noah's was eventually published. Mm-hmm. Mine was published. I don't know if I saw Cheryl's. Did you see it, Rose?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Right.
Other than that, I think they've all been published. And I did put in a call to Caitlin, and as soon as I did, I think Noah's popped up. I think she knew what I was going to talk to her about. So she's been, I think, like Claire said, the news cycle and everything is a bit crazy. So hopefully she'll get in some rotation and get them in for us.
I think a good platform for the letters and the columns outside of the papers is almost putting them on a blog, but not. There's a website out there that I write on all the time, and it's called Medium. And just the way that it's formatted, and it's so easy to read, and it doesn't give you that dated feeling of like a blog spot or a WordPress type of blog from like the early 2000s. It's actually like, it's very accessible and super clean and easy to format. So my suggestion would be, and because I'm so familiar with it, I wouldn't have a problem just copying and pasting and posting it on, creating a Medium account basically for the Disabilities Commission. Because in addition to hosting the letters and the columns, we could also do write-ups, because that was mentioned before, of highlighting certain commission members and what they do. So that would provide a platform for us to do that as well. And then we can share, it's all hosted in one place, and then we can share the individual posts to our Facebook page.
Oh, that sounds great.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Just having a little bit more control of what we put out in a more timely way. If they end up in the print, all the better. But it would allow us to put stuff out as soon as it's ready, and put more stuff out. Because, like you said, we could then diversify the types of things that we're putting out there that may not end up in print. So that's great.
Okay.
Well, and it increases our visibility too. I mean, that's the thing. People see it,
Sure. Okay. Yeah. All right. I can get started on that then for sure. And like I said, it's not going to take very long. So, so the next thing that I have is the social media list, and I'm drawing a blank on what that is. I'm so sorry. I think maybe it's just an update on what we've been posting to social media, which, I mean, like I said, there's no shortage of content to work with right now. I mean, especially with the election, with the pandemic, with the census, voting, the mail, everything moves so fast right now. So yeah, it's been a pretty quick process for me to curate content to post to the Facebook page. That's something that I have not struggled with yet. But I mean, it could get to that point where maybe things slow down, and I might, need some suggestions on, hey, like what are some interesting authors or, magazine websites or artists or anything, I'll be sure to reach out to this committee for sure. And again, if anyone has anything that they want posted to the page, they could just send it to me in an email, and I'm more than happy to do that. If they send it to me before Sunday, it'll get sent out. It'll be scheduled out for the next week. So everything should be in, by Sunday if you want it posted, like the immediate week after. So,
well, I think that the social media list would be a good place to put, like, what you just described. It's a blog or something that you're going to post on. That would be nice for us to know what the address is.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yep,
that's
I'll send that out for sure.
maybe that's what you meant when you said social media list.
I think so. I just, my brain is like, it's making like a sizzling noise. I'm not sure what's, I think it's my, the fact that my cat almost caught on fire.
Yeah.
And then the Athena Award update. So we discussed this in the Education and Outreach Committee meeting on Tuesday, and I am so excited to see what we can do, because I know that, I mean, it is disappointing that we're not all going to be able to get together, but just like knowing how resourceful and quirky Athens is, like, this is, I think that we're really going to set a standard on how to make things possible during a pandemic. So yeah, I'm really excited. And I know that we have received a couple more nominations, I think. Is that right, Dr. Lewis? Did we receive?
No, we received inquiries. They wanted the, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. They wanted information on how to apply, how to submit an application.
Okay.
And then there was someone updated the information. And Claire, I owe you a response. I haven't forgotten you. Yes, that email does work. That Disabilities Commission at CI. I check it sometimes 2 and 3 times a week now. Probably obsessed, if you know what I mean, just to make sure. Anything.
I appreciate that, Dr. Willis.
Yes,
Kevin's nomination, the folks who contributed to Kevin's nomination, a few of them, not all of them, we're going to update theirs. So I'll be submitting that probably within the week. It's October 1st is the deadline, yeah?
Yes. And all of the forms are on on our page on the city site. You should be able to access those. Those are all updated.
Oh, okay. I must have overlooked it.
Yeah, they might not say 2020. We just made it generic. So we will change it every year.
That sounds
so
good.
Say 2020, but if you can't find, the link doesn't open, which it should, just let me know. It should say Athena Award forms. I don't know if it says forms with Athena Award information or whatever it says.
And I had the one from last year, and if it's the same, I can just use that too.
Exactly. All you need is the plot information, a little paragraph of why, and then two references. But just, yeah, it's very same.
Okay, that works. Thank you.
And I know that one thing that we have been struggling with is getting submissions for our Calling All Artists for the next round of physical statuettes to be passed out for the next, I think, 5 years, 6 years? And so I had posted, it was either yesterday or the day before, the Calling All Artists flyer, and with a picture of the statuette that it was a really good picture from the Messenger back in like 2015. And I had tagged, I think, like 9 organizations, all local, and it got shared a lot. Arts West shared it, the Athens Art Guild shared it, and so that's really, really going to help us out, I think, in getting some more visibility. But I think if it comes down to it, I mean, we might have to. One thing that I was thinking was issuing a press release, maybe feature. Is it possible for us to feature the person who had designed the previous award? Just like, talking about the inspiration behind it and the importance of it, and, encouraging more people to submit their materials.
Yeah, I forget his name. Is it Morgan? I forget. There were 2 or 3 persons involved. And I have a release from last year about the first time we did it. So I'll send you everybody that released so you can see the names of who the people are.
Okay.
But I think that would be great, just to tailor it to and get some notes from them. And also from the mayor, he was really involved as to what that all meant at the time when they designed it.
Sure.
Well, and he'd be able to tell us tell you who designed it. Like
I have that,
see,
Rose. It's on that sheet
oh, it is. Okay,
that I'm going to send you. Yes.
And remind me, do we have one more of the original design for this year? And so we're preparing for future years? Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Have we reached out to the School of Art at OU?
Yes, we sent the flyer to the principal, asking him to give it to the art teachers. And Barry has made some personal contacts with art teachers herself. The University School of Art, we sent a release and information to each, the flyer, to each one of the faculty members, probably about 22 or so. And we have them on we look at their contact sheet, our contact list, they're all on there. So once the Athena's over, we're going to send out the flyer again, probably toward the end of the month, 1st of November. With the one thing we didn't put in the last information was how much the stipend is, because we weren't sure. So it's $1,800 for the design and the design of the award and the creation of 6 statuettes or whatever the award will be.
That was going to be my next question with if there was a stipend, and there is. That's a pretty substantial stipend.
I was going to say, I'll figure out one for myself.
So yeah, maybe in the next push we highlight that. Maybe that might catch some eyes.
Right. We didn't in the first couple, but yeah, that was a good suggestion by Barry that we put how much it is in there. So we'll do that.
Sounds good.
So are you guys doing you're accepting proposals and then you'll have a selection of the winner sort of thing?
Yes, proposals are due right after the 1st of January, and we were going to get a couple of faculty members or former faculty members like Terry Eiler with the School of Visual Arts to a 3-person or 4-person panel to select the design and then to ultimately select the actual piece.
That sounds great.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm excited. I hope that we get a lot of submissions because, this is, it's such a cool project. So yeah, I'll keep pushing that on social media. I'll make sure to post it maybe once a week. And same with the nominations too, leading up to October 1st. I'll be posting it once a week. So yeah, and then the resource list. Did everyone get a chance to read through the resource list? That was I had divided everything into sections like housing. I had added community, transportation, utility assistance. There's so much now in terms of COVID, especially at half cap. We were joking today that we're going to be running out of financial codes for our grant programs because there's just so many right now. But that's a good problem. So yeah, but I wasn't sure if anyone had any additional input or if we're ready to maybe to post that to the website or what the next steps were.
It's really comprehensive. There are more things that I ever even thought about. So thank you for doing that. Sure. I think start the post and maybe invite other people if there are other things to get those to you, and we can add them to the list and keep it going.
Sure. Okay.
Well, or even a news release in the A News that says, if you're interested in all the resources that are available, contact, because people who are interested don't need the whole list. They just need to know who to call, or who to contact.
Sure.
Because that's for people in need. That's so important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And if there's a way, it could be a living document. Things might change. So what we finalize now might add more, take away later. So I don't know if we have a space where that could live. So it could be edited. I'll
double check with the health department. because they created a spreadsheet for COVID, and it was a living document on their website that was, I mean, at one point it was updated every day. So yeah, I think it was like a Google spreadsheet that only certain people had access to. You had to, send it to certain people to make sure that it was listed on the spreadsheet. So yeah, I'll double check and, make sure how that was formatted and remind myself of how they were able to update it. And then, yeah, maybe we could just do that on the city website, on our page on the website. So just have a link.
Yeah, just tack it on, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Sure. All right. And then the mass gathering list, which I thought that was great. And it's going to be really beneficial, I think, moving forward. And I think that a lot of organizations out here that do a lot of demonstrating are going to be very grateful to have that resource. So
I still need to fill it out, like the local contact. I'd want to touch base with who wants to be listed there as far as the ASL interpreters, or
Sure.
if we have any local resources that print in Braille. So there's still some work that needs to be done on it. I did speak with Director Pyle, who is also, he's the chief of police, but also the director of the city safety services director. And he did not see any issue with sharing that once it's finalized with anyone who requests and receives an approved parade permit, which is what's used for, marches and such.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, that's a good jumping off point. And I know that Dr. Lewis, I can't remember. Were you gonna add something to the list? I thought that we had a conversation about it recently, but
I don't know if it was, I can't remember who made the suggestion that with some of the groups that the commission is partnering with, such as Age Friendly or Rebecca Miller or other people, they might have other resources that we might want to include.
Oh, okay.
I think that was it. But I think what you have is a good start. And as Arian said, we just make it a living document, just add, take away whatever we need to do.
Okay, sure. Okay.
And that was for the resource list? Or
it was for the resource list. The resource list. That's what you're talking, right?
Got it.
Okay.
Is that what you're talking about, Claire?
It was the mass gathering list.
Oh, the mass gathering list. No, I didn't have any other.
Oh.
Did we lose you?
Dr. Lewis, are you still there?
For me?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I didn't have any other comments on the mass gathering. I think it's great.
Oh,
but
sure.
I thought you were talking about the resource list as far as a conversation we might have had about including other people. And that's what that was.
Okay. Yeah. For some reason, I couldn't remember. It was just like, I needed to jog my memory, but okay. Well, that's everything on old business. Does anyone have anything else that they want to add, or there's still time for new business if anything came up?
Just one thought. When you were talking about content for Facebook, and Barry will be a good person for you to reach out to occasionally, because she's always finding a link or information for something. When she sends it to me, I try to forward it to her. So you might just send her a note saying if she finds something of interest, just send it to her and you will post it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, because I'm not sure. We're still working out some details for the 19th. The 19th is when we record our first installment of the oral history project. So yeah. When I get in touch with her about that, I'll be sure to mention that. So Okay. Does anyone have anything else? All right. I have here that our next meeting is on October 8th at 5:30. So that still work for everyone? Okay. That's a week after our deadline for the nominations. So we'll have some intense updates by then. But yeah. All right. And if there's anything else moving forward, always feel free to reach out to me via email. But yeah, I'll make sure to send the reminder earlier next time and be more organized with that. I have this all set on my phone. Dr. Lewis and I went through it step by step, and I set alarms in my phone for everything that I have to do. And I did not have the alarm set for the reminder, so I do moving forward.
I might meet with Arian and Rose, and Rose is very familiar with this because she used to do it all herself at one point. But I'll send it to you and to you, Arian, and to Rose. Every month, they'll have a calendar written down where 4 or 5 days before each of our committee meetings and the commission meeting, I'll send a notice to the paper, depending on the time of the month. And then also the template that goes to Patty and with the agenda. Now I'll send the template that we got maybe the month before, and she'll fill in the new information and with our agenda, and she'll post that to the city site. And then we also will make sure that we check the email of the commission the date of the meeting at 10 o'clock or so we don't miss anyone who might want to join us and need the information. And all we would do is refer them to the city site because they can log in not as a participant, but of course as a viewer. So I went over all of that with Claire so someone would have their knowledge except me. The forms and everything. So even Arian, now there are 2 or 3 of us. I think you might have it. No, I think Diane, Rose, Claire and I have the login information, and Davey and Noah to the email that we now know is the working one. So everything's pretty clear on that end as well. We did get one update on that site for one of the applicants. They want to send additional information. And so that was about it so far.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, great.
Just a just like a technical thing, Claire. If we want to do this, follow Robert's rules, we'll take a motion in a second and then we vote. Does that make sense? So like Rose made a motion, I made a second, and then we vote. All in favor say aye, any opposed say nay.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to do that, but since we're kind of partially following Robert's rules, I wondered if we wanted to do that. And we're so small, I don't know if it's necessary, but I just thought I'd share that.
Yeah, sure.
I think so. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Okay. Yeah, and Dr. Lewis, I think you told me that, but I still have that thing where it's just like, no, do people really have to listen to me? I don't know, like that weird role type thing. I need to knock some of those barriers down in my brain. So okay, I'll definitely remember that, and I might have to write it down and read it so that I feel more comfortable next time. But yeah, I'll
it takes some getting used to, but as soon as you do it a few times, it's like it'll just roll right off your tongue.
It looks so easy, like when you're looking in, but yeah, it's totally different when you have to be the one doing it. So okay.
So Rose made the motion, Arian seconded, and you need to say all in favor.
All in favor.
Aye. And then in the minutes, then we'll record that, and we also have to include this right, Arian, motion carried.
Motion carried.
Is that right?
Yes, the motion carried, yeah.
Okay, all right.
All right, thank you, Ariane. No problem.
You're the Dr. Smith of this committee. Remember, he always reminds us on the commission, you've got to carry the motion through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Fran.